Hello. It's dark and miserable outside. Well, it is the first week of December. So, here in the Northern Hemisphere, it's just, it's a struggle. It's a struggle. I mean, honestly, if you'd slept all day today, you weren't missing a thing. I'm here to talk to you today about the best music of 2021. Now, of course, this is my opinion, but as there's nobody here to contradict me, I'm just going to assume that my opinion goes. However, having said that, you are welcome to give me your views about the things I've chosen here, or suggest some complete alternative things that you think I might need to listen to, because, I don't get out much. So, what I want to do is talk about one great single and three great albums. We could even do counting down the albums, although, to be honest, the tension isn't going to be that great, is it, from 3 to 1? But let's start with the single. I don't know much about this guy. He's from Nigeria. I think he's called CKay. I'm just going to check I'm giving you some correct facts. But, oh, what a record. I love it. Now, look, I can't actually play any of the music. You know what happens. YouTube come along and make life very, very difficult. So I'm not going to try and do that. I will, however, be incredibly dutiful and leave links to each of the artists, albums, singles that I mention in this next few minutes. So you've got it all there. Do go and listen, because I'm trying to share beautiful stuff with you. So go and check it out. This guy CKay, he is from Nigeria, as I say. And basically, the song I love is called Love Nwantiti, also known apparently as Love Nwantiti RRR, if that helps you. I do hope I'm pronouncing that right. It's a kind of Afrobeats thing. It's a real spaghetti of different influences, but I mean it is fabulous, and for some reason I find it beautiful and emotional and just lovely to listen to. Love Nwantiti was actually released in 2019. It was a big hit in Nigeria, but then gradually, I think there's been a remix. I think it's just found itself being released and re-released several times over. It certainly has been a small hit in Britain, and then eventually I think it became a major hit. So it has now become a hit all over the world. Europe, Africa. I'm reading a little bit of Wikipedia here. I know you could look up Wikipedia yourself, but I'm here to save you the trouble of doing that. But this one great track, which apparently, here we go, Helen Ainsley of the Official Charts Company here in the UK has described CKay's music as fusing Afrobeats with pop, electronic music, and even classical music. Anyway, listen. Only about a month ago, CKay became the first African artist, so this is really significant, to hit 20 million Spotify listeners. I think he's got 21 million monthly listeners on his Spotify page. And on TikTok, this same track, Love Nwantiti by CKay, has been viewed 15 billion times. Count it, 15 billion. So this is a track that has, as I say, was born in 2019. I've discovered it only in the last couple of months, and it's bloomin' marvellous. So go check that out. That's my first recommendation of 2021. And then I've got three really great albums that I want to recommend to you, and if you haven't heard them, go listen, go stream. And I will do this in a kind of an order, and I'm going to start with an album by Jungle. They are a couple of guys from London, I think even from West London. I mean, I'm from West London. I haven't bumped into them, but then maybe I have. Maybe they were in Sainsbury's just now, I don't know. Anyway, look, these guys, they're called Jungle. They've made a few albums. I loved the previous one. In fact, if I'm really honest, I loved the previous album a little bit more than this one. This album came out in August, and it's called Loving in Stereo. And it's a really good album. It's, how would I describe their music? It's very cool, very danceable. And here's the thing. They look great. They are a band who take very seriously the kind of visuals of their music. So if you go to YouTube, that's the best way to really catch them. Don't worry about, forget about Spotify. Go to YouTube and look up Loving in Stereo by Jungle on YouTube, because there you will find, I think, at least half a dozen. I think they may have made a video of every single track on that album. There's certainly a whole bunch of them. They are big production videos that focus on dance and movement. And I guess if I'm being critical, I wonder sometimes whether the energy in making that record was more into the dancing and the visual than it was actually into the music and the melody. I like the album a lot. As I say, I think maybe it's not as brilliant as the album before, but then that was the first time I'd heard of them, and there's something about the novelty of hearing something new and lovely for the first time. I think they're really good. Check them out. It's a good album, and as I say, some serious dancing. I mean, basically, it's a big dance troupe. They've got a bunch of girl dancers and boy dancers. It's a bit basic, but kind of equal numbers of both. Quite a lot of the dancing seems to be about gender. I mean, it seems like quite often when they're dancing, you tend to see a scene of the girls dancing in one room, the boys dancing in another room. So that's why I'm making the point about male and female dancers. But they're very good. It's very contemporary. It will keep you moving. You can dance across the living room to this. It's quite an up album. At least the sound is quite up, but certainly very cool indeed. So go check out Jungle. That's the album called Loving in Stereo. Okay, so that leaves two, and really now look, these two albums, I guess I've got to put one number 2 and one number 1, but to be honest, I love them both. So let's do it in this order. I think number 2, and the reason I'm putting it number 2 is because essentially it's a pastiche, a beautifully, lovingly made pastiche of the 1970s. This is Silk Sonic, the group that Bruno Mars has put together with this guy Anderson .Paak. Now look, I didn't know who Anderson .Paak was until Silk Sonic. The single Leave the Door Open came out, I think in February, and I just melted into a swoon pretty much immediately. I think that, along with CKay, that's why I'm mentioning it now, that is my favourite single of the year, Leave the Door Open. And Silk Sonic have now gone on to make the album of Silk Sonic. I think it's called An Evening with Silk Sonic. And okay, here's the thing. If they weren't such fantastic musicians, I think this might all be a bit hokey. It is, as I say, it's a pastiche. It's a lovingly made tribute to sort of bands like Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes, or the OJs, or that kind of Philadelphia sound, kind of soft, very big on the vocal harmonies, sometimes quite, complex key changes going on and all that kind of stuff. The thing that makes it so damn good is they have committed to it completely. And I think the musicality is wonderful. I think the voices are wonderful. I think it's all done with a sparkle. It's a bit tongue-in-cheek. It is knowing. They know exactly what they're doing, but they do it fantastically. And what I saw recently are a couple of videos of a couple of the tracks on the album being performed on the classic American show Soul Train. And it just looks perfect. I mean, honestly, you could catch it, without really sort of thinking what you're watching, and think, oh, it is 1976, and I'm watching, you know, Harold Melbourne, the Blue Notes sing "Don't Leave Me This Way." I mean, it's so similar in its kind of style. They've got the suits, they've got the moves, really got the moves. I mean, fantastically well. But the thing, as I say, that really elevates this is fantastic voices. Bruno Mars sounds fantastic. The songs are really good. They're kind of funny. I think "Leave the Door Open" is the best track on the album, but you know, it's really good. There's a track called "Smoking Out the Window." That's another one of the singles, and you'll find a video of that, where they're all holding a cigarette lit. I mean, they are probably in so much trouble for daring to make a video where they've all got cigarettes that I love them a little bit more for that. You know, it's as if that is dangerous. I mean, for goodness sake. So that is my number 2 album of the year, Silk Sonic. An Evening with Silk Sonic. I think that only came out probably a month or so ago, but the singles have been kind of, you know, teasing us through the year. And also, I recommend having a look at "Leave the Door Open" on the Grammys. If you go to YouTube and check out their performance on the Grammys, that was, you know, beyond brilliant. So love, 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 fantastic. I'm in awe of the musicality, and yes, it's all very, you know, it's all very dated. It's, you could say it's all completely unoriginal, but I love it. So that's Silk Sonic. So I think it's time for a drum roll, isn't it? What is my favourite album of 2021? It's Lil Nas X, and the album's called Montero, which is his name. What can I say about this? I have probably rambled on about Lil Nas X before. I love the backstory. I love the whole story about Old Town Road and how they got kicked out of the Billboard country charts in America in 2019 for not being country enough. I mean, let's not even go there. It's so ridiculous. So then, of course, you know, he goes and gets Billy Ray Cyrus, who is pretty country, if you're asking me, does remix, and then it spends 19, yes, count them, 19 weeks at the top of the charts. So wonderful comeback and up to those nice people at Billboard. So anyway, people thought, well, that's it then, you know, he's had a laugh, one hit wonder, goodbye. And here we are 2 years later. He has released a few singles in the meantime, all of which actually have done really well, and then eventually an album which came out a month or so ago, a couple of months ago, as I say, called Montero. Went into the album charts in America number 2. I think it also went into the British album charts at number 2 or number 3. So not a number 1 album, but it has done very well right across the planet. And I just think this guy is going to be around a while. Why do I like this album? The songs are quite short. They cover quite a lot of different genres. What surprises me is, A, he can sing. He's got kind of different vocal styles. He can sing high, he can sing, you know, in quite a low voice. Rather like Jungle, and in a way a little bit, you know, like Bruno Mars and Silk Sonic. A lot of effort has been put into the visuals, so there are a lot of videos now made for the various different tracks on this album. I think it's been very lovingly produced. I think it's very honest. I think he's trying to write about his life as well as, you know, give us entertainment across all the songs that are on this album. I think what really comes across, though, is he's just very brave. I mean, this is the most, you know, explicitly out queer record I've heard in years. And, you know, you kind of think the guy is, how old is he? 19, 20, maybe 21 by now. He's just, he doesn't care. He does not care what you think. And I love that. I just think it's just a fearless, brave, incredibly catchy, really, genre-crossing album of great pop music. And Elton John plays the piano on one of the tracks. Apparently, Elton John says something like, "I don't care, I don't care what Lil Nas X asks me to do. I'd come and play Twinkle Twinkle Little Star if he asked me." And if Elton John likes it, then that's also good enough for me. There's a fabulous duet with Miley Cyrus on the very, very last track. So he's obviously mates with the Cyrus family. And I recommend it. It won't be to everybody's taste. It's very rude. Just letting you know now, it's very rude. It's very explicit. And I love him for it. And I wish him a long, successful and happy career. So that's Lil Nas X, and the album's called Montero. Go check it out. Don't let the children hear it, though. Not all of it. So that's 2021 for you. Look, I'll be back very soon talking about my next single, which is called Free and is out on the 17th of December. So that's in a week on Friday. That will be out and hugging and kissing your ears. Until then, you be good, and I'll be back very, very soon with another adventure in pop. You take care now. Bye-bye.